This is the Oneness Podcast, episode 30. I am Jessica Delmar. I assist in strengthening your knowledge of who you truly are as a powerful creator being during these powerfully shifting times. Thank you everyone for being here. Hello, it's so good to be back. I took a break in October, so if you haven't heard from me for a while, it was because I was deeply going inward. I was called to be in this sort of cocoon stage to prepare for this new cycle that I'm moving into, especially with it being a new birth cycle for myself. And this is also something to consider within your own birth cycles. You know, before your birthday comes around each year, you want to take some time off to really focus on yourself, to integrate energy within yourself, because opening into a new birth year is always this huge, grand, it's like you're exploding into new energy and rebirthing again. And so your soul is very much calling for you to kind of go inward and reconnect with your soul in order to really realign with what your soul wants and to help prepare you for the new cycle year up ahead for you. So my October was very much about sort of reconnecting inward, aligning even more strongly and more deeply to the now moment experience and the beingness in that now moment. So really diving into just being without really trying to understand too much and just experiencing the beingness, finding the center of the storm, really connecting and sort of rooting into the center of the storm, that balanced space, connecting to your inner being, because there's so much going on in the world around us. There's a lot of chaos going on. There's a lot of turmoil, a lot of high energy. And so it's very important at this time. I've spoken about throughout October the importance of rest and reconnecting to that center of the storm space, your inner being, in order to help you to navigate this very interesting time in the outside world. That's also sort of what's coming through with this information that wanted to come through in this episode, the very first episode back, talking about what's going on, especially with the election and what to look forward to and where you should be energetically during this time as a mindful creator being. So I'm just going to go ahead and read what came through. From now until the end of the year, the planet is undergoing intense and powerful solar radiation waves that come forth from the sun. These waves form through energy that the planet receives from the sun. It's also happening within individuals on a micro scale. So think of just your absorption of sun energy. The earth is absorbing sun energy as well, and it has been, of course. So just think of, it kind of showed me the earth absorbing all these waves of energy from the sun, same thing with human bodies. And the planetary form and individual forms internalize this sun's energy and then sort of shifts that sun's energy outward to then radiate it back outward towards and through the surface of the skin or the physical form, and then even further outward into the collective or the universe. This energy takes place at the heart. So as you internalize the sun's energy, or as the planet internalizes the sun's energy or absorbs the sun's energy, it kind of, it goes through the physical form, but it sort of accumulates at the heart center, or it's brought together into the heart center. And then from there, it ripples out through this energy alchemy. It ripples outward through the entire body. But there's a huge explosion that comes from the heart area. The trigger that explodes this energy outward from the heart comes in the form of the strong ability to open the heart or to crack the heart wide open. So this is important. As you internalize that energy from the sun on a individual basis, the micro basis, of course it's happening on Gaia's macro self as well. The thing that allows for that energy to be alchemized and released back outward only occurs when you're able to open up the heart, especially if you're able to crack the heart wide open. So this is also what came through. Now until the end of the year, there's going to be massive sort of attacks is what came through, but like things that will help to trigger the heart to open in attempt to help open more and more hearts, because hearts have to open. That's sort of the main mission at this time, is to open hearts. Gaia's heart must open and people's hearts must open. They're connected. So as more and more people's hearts open, that allows for Gaia's heart to more strongly open. So it kind of showed me the energy being like pinpricks on a ball that holds light. So think of sort of light shining through those pinpricks or through the small holes, but the entire ball has to crack open to expose that sort of explosion of light throughout the entire body. The other thing why this is so strongly connected in terms of people's hearts opening and then Gaia's heart being able to open is because when Gaia's heart opens, it's a powerful force of energy that unless people upon the planet are aligned to that energy, then there could be massive destruction if people and the vibration upon the Earth's surface is not aligned to the energy when Gaia sort of explodes her heart open. If people are aligned to the energy, and especially as a collective, if we are aligned to that energy of the open heart of Gaia, then the energy will be in more alignment. It won't be as destructive energy due to the polar opposition or to the contrast of energy. The other thing to note because of this, what did come through, is heart attacks in people. So heart attacks, unfortunately, may be a common result for people who are unable to open the energy, but instead choose to suppress it. There's no other way for the energy to release if a person chooses to hold on to it and suppress it. And so a physical ailment surrounding the heart, such as a heart attack, may take place. But also remember that you, as a strong, enlightened, and awakened soul of your family, you hold a strong pillar for energy to move through you, not only for yourself, but for your family too. You chose this role for not only yourself, but for your family too. And we've spoken in the past about how you take your family with you into the higher dimensions. And you do this by strengthening your vessel of light so that you can not only transmute your own energy, but your family members' energy as well. Their energy that they may not be able to transmute themselves can be ultimately transmuted through you, but it's all through intention, meaning that you have to choose to hold that space for those that you love. And it's also based upon the work that you've done for yourself, which is why we've had all these years, a lot of light workers working for many years to transmute your own energy, to become a clear vessel, for you to now be in a place, a powerful, strong place, to take on the energy of your family members and take on the energy of the people around you and take on the energy of the collective to help transmute it and move that energy through you. Hearts must open. There is an intense explosion of hearts opening that I can feel coming. It's coming in waves. This allows for Gaia's heart to safely burst open. And when this happens, the energy comes forth from the planet. It comes forth from the heart center of the planet and rises in the area of the planet that aligns or best aligns to the vibration of Gaia's heart. And this area, what came through, is the Pacific Ocean. The Pacific Ocean, there's a lot of bubbling energy there. A ripple of intense energy comes forth from the bottom of the Pacific Ocean and ripples out throughout the entire planet. And although I feel like an energetic burst that moves throughout the planet, and we've spoken about things like this before. But at the same time, I also feel that this energy will come through other forms, such as natural weather patterns. On a micro scale, this intense energy also comes forth from your heart on an individual scale for people. So it's going to open through your open heart when you burst your heart open, and it's going to radiate throughout your entire body. The entire planet will feel the burst of energy one way or another. And as it was shown to me, it feels very much like a thickness in the air. I felt static. I felt like I was underneath power lines. So you kind of hear the static of the power lines. You feel the static in the air. The air feels thicker. So that could sort of represent those who are very sensitive to energy may feel something similar. But there are people who are not sensitive to energy and who may not feel it. But all are going to be affected by it, whether subconsciously, unconsciously, or consciously. It's energy that disrupts the vibrational grid upon which you create. So as an individual on a micro scale, experiencing this sort of energy shift, the heart radiates this energy, and that powerful heart energy, again, that ball that bursts open, that energy is so powerful that it disrupts your energy grid upon which you create your reality. So the same thing is happening with the collective on a greater scale, that greater collective grid upon which we create the collective reality. All of that is being disrupted with this great energy surge. Your collective manifestations are deeply rooted in energy recycling through your collective energy grid. This recycled energy is old. It no longer serves you as a collective and where you are going. This solar wave of energy is meant to disrupt these old patterns, the old programs and old systems of 3D especially, including both individually and collectively. In other words, again, it short circuits physical form, or rather the grid upon which you create your physical reality. You may not notice because this is all vibrational and energetic, but your cells are being affected. Cellular memory and programs are affected. And so what this can do in terms of how you may experience it is that it creates confusion, it creates a lack of clarity, foggy energy, lack of focus, and what also came through is great pain due to uncertainty and doubt. And this sort of showed me in terms of this great pain due to uncertainty and doubt is, for example, your relationships. There's a lot of uncertainty in that energy that I can feel. And so for some people who may be questioning their relationships or anything else, it could just be due to this greater energy short circuit that's happening. So if people act upon these sort of doubts and uncertainties, then of course it could create great pain and heartbreak. So just keep in mind. So of course the question came through, should you make any rash decisions during this time? And what came through was probably not. Of course you want to remember that things are sort of unclear at this time. So keep that in mind before making any sort of rash decisions. But really what this time is calling for you to do is to trust the universe and the divine flow, the divine timing, and divine unfolding of your life in alignment to your greater soul's desires. So, for example, if you do feel uncertainty or doubt surrounding something, you don't necessarily want to make any rash decisions if you don't have to. If you do, then of course go with your heart. But if you feel doubt or uncertainty or lack of clarity and confusion, you want to take a step back and go further inward, connect further with yourself and your inner calling, your inner being, and find that sort of strength in your now moment of kind of falling back on trusting the universe. And then from there, maybe it will become more clear in terms of if you have to make a decision or move forward with anything. This time is asking you to trust even more in what you cannot see. You are blind to your path, and the only thing that you can really do is to trust in the non-physical energy guiding you. If you try to push through it and control things even harder, you may find yourself in a ditch on the side of the road. So it's even more important to ease, ebb, and flow through this time. And this kind of pulls me back into the entire purpose of 2020 and how everyone's kind of been saying, this will help to expand your eyesight and your view to seeing clearly, 2020 vision. But really what it's doing is trying to connect you to 2020 vision in the unseen, the things that you cannot see, the non-physical. The physical vision in 2020, the year 2020, seems very hazy. There's no clarity here in the physical. So again, it's asking you to dive inward, connect to your non-physical source aspect, your inner being. That is where your 2020 vision of clarity will be found. Truth in the collective skies are on the horizon. The United States election has many people's energy already buzzing in alignment to those power line energies that I was talking about. In this time is also the dramatic push into the now moment for many who exist outside of the now moment. This will only add to the confusion and the haziness because people are being forced into the now moment, into that space which is very uncomfortable for a lot of people. But all of this is happening for the greater good of Gaia. This energetic space is similar to a diver going into deep depths below the ocean or a pilot flying high above the skies. The ears ask to be popped, but the moments before the ears pop are the most uncomfortable. Once the ears are popped, comfort is restored until you reach new depths and new heights when it becomes uncomfortable again. These energetic waves are just that. It is the rapid ascension into a new dimensional space. Many of you have been slowly acclimating for quite some time now, but we are reaching even new heights and new depths of exploration. Hold tight. The ride is about to get a little bumpy. The timelines that many of you are aware of have been collapsing for quite some time now. The United States election offers two major timelines that will collapse the collective multiple timelines into just one, the now moment timeline. You are witnessing the final collapse of the collective multiple timeline era into a single timeline aligned to the now moment. So let that soak in. This is huge. We are witnessing the collapse of almost like the last two major timelines of the multiple timelines that used to exist. We're now kind of down to two major timelines where we are witnessing that collapse into a singular timeline, which is going to be that now moment timeline, or be a timeline in which people can more easily access that now moment timeline, which we're going to continue to speak about. Many people are worried about who is going to win this election. This is a lesson in the now moment, where no time and no space exist. The lesson is this: in the now moment, all exists. You get to choose what you experience and how you manifest that experience. So with the election, there are the two timelines, yes, but in your now moment, you get to decide which of those timelines you choose to experience. There is a shift in mindset that has to take place, and this shift in mindset is that you do not take on any of the two timelines, but rather your now moment is simply a way for you to experience a collective unfolding of time in a physical reality, meaning that you must choose a timeline in order to exist in a physical reality. But as a multidimensional being, your experience in that timeline is more aligned to your now moment, meaning that you choose how to manifest your experience in that timeline. This is another important thing to remember when entering into this singular timeline. You are not bound to the timeline because you are a multidimensional being. And if you're able to find that now moment and experience through the now moment, then you experience your reality in an open field of possibility. The timeline simply allows you a reality to experience that now moment that you are connected to. So, the difference between a collective multiple timeline and a collective single timeline is that the now moment experience is attainable by more people when there is a single collective timeline. This is because multiple timelines is much like the collective mind being pulled in many different directions. It's unfocused, it's scattered. A single timeline is a much more focused collective mind. Not everyone is going to find their way into a now moment experience, and that's fine. This is the reason for a singular timeline. For those who are unable to exist in the now moment experience, they sort of default their physical existence and their physical manifestations to that singular timeline. So their experience, those who are unable to align to a now moment experience, those people's manifestations of their realities are aligned to the singular timeline vibration. So that singular timeline is sort of like a default template for manifestation, if you will. However, for those who are enlightened and more awakened and aware and conscious, the now moment is readily available. It is the magic of why you came. It is the pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. It is the sweet nectar to a hummingbird or a bee. It is why you entered into this life, and it is here, it is now. The now moment is available to all, and it will become the moving grace that saves people from waging war within themselves. In the time that you are currently in, there are people who are unable to find peace within because there is much turmoil without. The now moment will offer a spark, a glimmer of hope that helps to slow the turning wheels of the mind and return to center, a place that is foreign to many upon your planet. This foreign place of centeredness will become heaven on earth for many. When the election results are clarified, you may be surprised at who wins. People look to others for their freedom, but during this time of rapid change, more and more people will find that freedom within themselves. So, it's not anyone who wins, but your own win when you find freedom and peace within. Predictions of the future is another lesson of the now moment that we want to speak a little bit about. So predictions of the future are aligned to the now moment, but the now moment is constantly changing based upon what you are desiring to manifest in the now moment and the vibration that you're holding in the now moment. So are predictions true? Yes, they could be, but not always. Keep in mind that predictions align to the person giving the prediction because they are aligning to a vibration that they are sensing within you, or that they are sensing within the collective, or that they're sensing within whatever they're trying to give a prediction about. I don't personally like making specific predictions because my vibration picks up on many different vibrations in the collective, and so there are so many different possibilities based upon dominant collective vibration. But the dominant collective vibration is very much like waves of the ocean, and it's not until those ripples of the ocean get closer to the shore that the waves actually begin to form. So any predictions that you want to make or that you can foresee in the future very much goes along with the now moment and the importance of creating a now moment experience aligned to that which you want to attract in a wave of now moment manifestation. Not only that, but you very much can tailor the strength of the waves as they form. So if you can see something manifesting, a wave being created, you can vibrationally shift the energy of that wave if you want to shift the manifestation in any way. So that goes along with predictions. If you don't necessarily like a prediction, you can shift the energy of what may just be a ripple at that moment in the prediction phase to become something vibrationally different, to manifest in a different way. Therefore, the prediction offers you the ability to manifest whatever that prediction is into a different vibration, to therefore manifest differently. There is a powerful desire for truth in the collective, and like we said, truth in the collective skies are on the horizon. It's very dominant in the collective vibration in terms of desiring and wanting truth. It is up to you in your now moment to decide if you desire truth or illusion, love or fear. And when you root strongly in this knowing within, whatever you decide, your greater collective reality will play out in alignment to what you decide. There is not a winner who is better, but simply a response manifestation to a dominant collective vibration. And as a collective, you will ride the waves of the chosen timeline together. To the heart which is aware, the greater collective beats. Your reality is what you energetically create. The heart of the one who knows this to be true will manifest their reality in alignment to this truth, rowing downstream and experiencing life the way that it's desired. The heart of one who is blind to this truth will manifest a reality in blind default to the truth that desires to be known, but is not known. Your timeline as a collective will go where the wind takes you. Do not fear the outcome, but strengthen your knowing that all is truly well, and thy will of source be done. Thank you so much for being here. If you have any questions about this episode or anything is sparked into your awareness regarding the information that came through in this episode, feel free to leave a comment. I would love to create more Q&A podcasts, which I might start doing. So leave your questions in the comments if you're listening on YouTube. If you're listening on podcast, head on over to the Anchor app. I'm going to put a link in the description where you can actually leave a voice message with your question or anything that's on your mind. And it would be fun to actually listen to a voice recording of your question or your message. Thank you everyone so much for being here, for listening in, and for all of your support, especially during the month off that I was taking. Thank you so much for your messages. This podcast can now be found on all podcast platforms. Listen and subscribe on Apple iTunes, Google Podcasts, Spotify, Anchor, Breaker, and YouTube. Thank you again for being here. I'll see you in the next episode, and remember that all is truly well. Oneness, love, and peace be with you.